Today, my topic is Federation Access Management in India. I'm working at InfoNet Center and I used to take care of this Federation Access Management. I'm the country operator of this federation. Before Federation, INFED, why INFED came and what is the purpose of INFED? What exactly is the responsibility of this federation in India, especially why InfoNet is taking care of this Federation access? So as you are aware that ESO Sindhu consortium, which is the combination of different three consortium which was operated by different nodal agency, UGC Infonet, Enlist Consortium for Arts and Science Colleges, and Indus AICTE. In 2017, MHRD decided to merge all three consortium in a single name. It's called ESO Sindhu, where this MHRD given fund to us to centrally subscribe for these resources, various resources from various publishers like IEEE and its own JSTOR, Springer, Wiley, Taylor and Francis, so many other publishers. Through this consortium, we do serve 97 centrally funded technical institutions such as IITs, IIMs, NITs, and ISS, more than all the central universities, centrally funded universities, and 217 state universities, 75 technical institutions, more than 3,200 arts and science colleges we do serve through Enlist Consortium. Here, maybe some of them from university and some of them from college library background. If you are from college, I hope you are all part of this Enlist Consortium. If you are from university, if you are government university, obviously you will know about this ESO Sindhu. So here, we do offer more than 10,000 plus e-journals, 31,35,000 ebooks, 22 resources, and 4 databases. While in terms of university and IITs and IIMs, when we subscribe for them, we do provide them only on-campus access using IP-based. For example, based upon the intellectual output or research output of the previous year that our committee decides, these many journals we need to offer to IIT Madras or IISc Bengaluru or IIT Delhi. So those resources, for example, JSTOR, we would like to offer them more than 100 plus journals. The moment we paid money to them, in turn, they will ask us what is the IP ranges of IIT Delhi or IISc Bangalore. So we need to give them the IP ranges of that institutions. So those institutions, the moment we supply to that publisher, they will configure in their database. The moment they configure, whatever resources subscribed and paid for that for IISc Bangalore, they can sit on the campus and they can access. This is the traditional method. And I would like to ask 2-3 questions. You just think on yourself. We are going to the market. We are purchasing. We purchase some 2-3 books, hard books. While selling the book, publisher is telling, "Arey sir, you need to read this book only within your home or within your campus." What we will say in turn, "Arey, I paid money for this book. Why should I read within my home? It is my property." The same way we do pay for e-resources. Again, e-resources comes under subscription. It is not hardly fully owned by you, even though publisher, I hope publisher has to take the responsibility to give access irrespective of on-campus or off-campus. They have to verify whether this person is legitimate or this person belongs to IISc or the same institution subscribed by that institute. The moment he has to confirm, yes, this person, I am ensuring that this person belongs to this institute, they have this access, they have to give access. But why they are restricting into IP-based access? For example, I am from Indian Institute of Science. Today I am part of Indian Institute of Science. My librarian or my institute created username password in publisher database. Tomorrow I am leaving. If in case my institute forget to disable my users IDs, and obviously wherever I go, with that username password, I can access anywhere, anytime, even I am part of that particular institution also. So here, what comes the problem? Problem comes in case this user authentication and attributes will be released by the institution. Publisher need to verify in a dynamic time. They don't want to maintain separately user database in their end, or that there is no manual intervention. For example, if I'm trying morning 10 o'clock to JSTOR publishers, the same time, institute has to verify, yes, this person belong to our institute, I am ensuring. Then publisher obviously will release. That mechanism is called SSO, single sign-on, and this technology is developed by SAML language, Security Assertion Markup Language. As a librarian, what you need to do? You have to provide the access of your subscribed resources because you paid money. For example, you purchase one shirt from that some shopping mall. They are telling you need to use within the campus. What you will say, I paid money, I need to access anywhere, anytime. If they say, if I, again, next question will ask, if I want to wear this shirt outside, how much money I need to pay extra? Or do I need to comply with any other agreement or sign? But the same thing, the questions need to ask by the librarian. You are giving on-campus IP based. Off-campus, what is the mechanism? If they say, sir, you have to go some proprietary software, you need to pay some money for that, and you can get the access. Sir, it is publisher responsibility. All the publisher like Elsevier, JSTOR, Springer, Taylor and Francis, all the publisher is offering off-campus also. They have some mechanism, but I don't know, maybe in India, we were not aware due to our ignorance or some other method, and I don't know what happened really. We do subscribe some proprietary software, but publisher itself is offering on-campus IP-based, off-campus Shibboleth-based. User, as a librarian, you need to ask them. If they say, no, sir, we don't have the technology, it is your call. Because you are paying money, you need to insist them and force them to provide off-campus access so that all your resources can be accessed anywhere, anytime without spending any additional cost. Let me elaborate how the system will work. And overall publisher is already offering. And if in case some of your publisher is not ready to offer, even as a federation, we do help them free of cost as of now. And you can ask the publisher to approach us. We will help them to set up off-campus access to their end, so that the moment they set up the access, they can you can get off-campus access also without any spending additional money. So here, so as I said, what is the access issue? And just 1 second, let me. Yes, access is restricted within the confine of a given university or institute campus IP ranges, although usage of these resources is satisfactory. Then again, immediate question, sir, our people may not using that much, sir. We do not know. And if you are offering off-campus access, maybe they are using their username password, they are giving their username password to other people, so that we don't have any control on it. But it is this worry should come from the publisher side, not an institution side. Even if they are sharing username and password, we have a mechanism to track that particular user. Then ideally, authorized user, even, for example, you paid 1 lakh rupees money to the publisher. These resources can be accessed anywhere, anytime, even when they are traveling also. Solution requires to setting up of proper user authentications. Why they are not offering off-campus access? Because they cannot maintain your user details, user information all the time with updated one. So user details is updated by your institutions and approved in the same time by the institutions. Obviously, they will provide you access of off-campus access. So, being a consortium operator of India, we try to solve this issue because we need to provide them off-campus access. Government is spending huge amount of money for that particular institutions to get the resources, e-resources. So that is the reason INFED came up. INFED, our website, dedicated website is parichai.influnet.ac.in. INFED is the first and only federation in India. We have adopted the security assertion markup, SAML technology, which is approved by all the publishers worldwide, even Google and Facebook. All the top publishers, top proprietary people are using this technology. We have adopted the same technology. We developed the software. For additional software and features we have added upon it, and we are giving them access. And our dedicated email helpline is influnet.ac.in. You can send any queries, and don't worry, I will be sharing this presentation after the end of my presentation, and you don't want to note it down anything now, just listen this screen. So what InfluNet is doing, what is the scope of our federation? And see, as I said earlier, the service provider, publisher, JSTOR, and the institution, for example, Indian Institute of Science, So this publisher and this institution do have some kind of trust body. For example, we will undertake on behalf of you. Yes, this particular institution is part of our country. We are the country operator. We will have an agreement with this institute. Yes, we will not. This institution will not misuse any of their data or while on or off campus access using this federation. And the moment they sign the membership form, sign the agreement form with InfluentNet, then we will set up the software for them. The moment we set up the software, it will give one metadata about the institution. The software will give about the institution information. Those information we will be securely stored in our database. We will sign every day and we will supply to publisher. What publisher will do in case tomorrow they found some misconduct from your institutions, they will not approach you directly. They will inform us, they will complain to us. Yes. See, the same way, publisher also should not misuse any of your data. For example, I'm one of the scientists from InfluentNet Center. I'm trying to access XYZ article from them. They should not reveal that, yes, Raja, by sitting in Gujarat or Bangalore, he downloaded 100 articles from my database. So this is the misconduct from the publishers. Though they also signed the membership agreement with us, the same way, both the parties should not misuse or misuse of their agreement. That is our responsibility. As a federation operator, we do frame the rules. We get the agreement form signature from both the parties, and we will maintain the discovery search. Where are you from? You are from Tamil Nadu, you are from XYZ institutions. So this is our responsibility. So we are just simply the trust making body between publishers and identity providers. You may have some questions, sir. Without you, can we get access? Yes, it is possible, but not all the publishers, because each and every publisher do not have time or do not have they will not trust the institutions. You are technically qualified to access their resources, because the moment they are allowing you to off campus, outside of the campus, your IP ranges, then there is a risk involved. So that is the only reason both the party will sign a membership form and the agreement form with us. So how this federated access works? For example, I am from XYZ institution. I'm accessing publisher A. So the moment I go to link page, then it will ask you, where are you coming from? Because I'm not from, if I'm there in the institution campus, obviously it will identify, yes, this person is belonging to this institution. Whatever it is legitimate to access for them, they will immediately open the database. Since I am accessing from my mobile, I'm sitting from my home or sitting in some browsing center. So they will ask, they do not recognize where I'm coming from, which IP address I'm accessing to their database. They will ask, where are you coming from? Then if your institute is already part of InFed, you set up the software, then you have to select, yes, I am from IISc Bangalore. The moment I select my institutions, publisher will send that username password pages to your institution. Right? Somebody is from your institute trying to access our database. Can I allow them access? So what institute will verify? Yes, they will enter, they will ask that login page, prompting login page will ask you to enter username and password, which is maintained by your institutions, maybe your IT team or your network team, or maybe your librarian maintain this username passwords. So he has to enter the username password, which is already provided by the librarian or IT team. Then the moment username password authenticates, yes, this person, we are authenticating this person. The moment your institute authenticate you, publisher will accept, yes, authenticated by the institution administrator, by the software, so we will give them access. So this is the genuine student or user from the institutions. So publisher will allow you to get access. So as I said, there is a trust framework between institution and services. Service provider is required. That's what InFed came into the picture. And user authentication devoted to each institution via local identity. Almost in India, 140 institution already using this. 64 institution is full-fledged using, and 140 universities subscribed our membership form. And those people may aware. If you do not aware, no problem. You can go to my website. There, each and everything will be listed out. Overall using, you can get in touch with them and ask all the details. Again, you will have one more doubt. Sir, I'm a librarian. I do not know anything technical. Sir, again, I'm telling you, as a librarian, you need to concentrate how to provide access. So the technology part will be taken care by InfluMNet. That's our major responsibility of us. So a formal federation is required as a trusted interface between the institution and publishers. So that's why InFed came into the picture. We signed a membership agreement with the international federations. So to become an Indian federation, there is some technically we need to qualify. We have to set up some tools and software that we have set up. We are full-fledged member of international federation. So we are the identity provider from your institutions and service provider like publishers and the user. We are trust making body between three entities. So how it works? Student from your institute trying to access publisher site. Publisher will send you that student to enter the username password. The moment he enters, your institute will verify, publisher will give them access. So this is the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. Recently they joined with InFed, and these are all the resources. Almost all of their resources is compliance with this publisher is allowing access to Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. Each and every institute, we do develop this page for dedicated page for them. We are giving them training also to how to modify it, everything. So if I am from IISc Bengaluru, I want to access ACM Digital Library. If I want to access, I need to go to my website, just click ACM Digital Library. Then it will be prompting username and password. I need to enter my username password. This is very important page. This page is called user consent page, because tomorrow the publisher is coming to know that publisher like JSTOR is come to know that Raja downloaded 100 articles. Then obviously they will inform to my boss stating that yes, Raja downloaded 100 articles. Then obviously my director will call us. Did you download article? What are those articles? Why are you doing? In case some head of the institution may ask. So I don't want to reveal my personal identity, isn't it? Because I don't want to reveal my personal first name, last name, my email address, or my mobile number. But all these information will be available with institutions. But as an institution, they should not reveal my personal identity. It is individual protection law. But at the same time, they have to give a consent to the publisher. Yes, this person is belong to my institution. So I am part of scientist group and I am part of member group. This is my email address, which is encrypted by my system. And this entitlement, yes, this fellow is coming from InfluMNet. He is part of scientist group. He is part of member group. And this is his, that email address. This email address known by only institution, not the publishers. So if I accept, yes, no problem, I'm ready to release these are articles to publishers. Yes, I accept. The moment I accept, publisher will allow them, grant them access. So here, in this online resource, this COVID-19 situation, there are some publishers, even you don't have any subscription for those publishers like American Institute of Physics, ACM Digital Library Annual Reviews, Cambridge University Press, JSTOR, Springer Nature, and ProQuest Database. They are coming forward. They are giving some resources, or they have opened their database to all the any of the researcher or institutions. If the institution already joined, be a part of InFed, this federation, you can get access of these resources. Sometimes they are expecting you to have institution email address. Sometimes they will ask if you are part of InFed, we are giving them access. One more beauty of this federation is, tomorrow, sir, I have something 1,000 data sets with me. I don't want to share. I don't want to keep it openly available, but I want to keep only the research institutions or Indian research institution, Indian education institution. How can I share my data? The moment, now in that case, you are the service provider, you have the data, you want to share the resources among Indian research institutions. So you don't want to approach them anyone individually, you just be a part of InFed, join as a federation service provider in our federation. The moment you join our federation, we will help you to set up the technical specification at your end, you can give them access. Again, one more question, sir, if I be a institution, what are the resources I can get free of cost? Being a part of InFed. At present, it is worldwide, it is under debate. For example, Harvard is sharing so much of resources, only the federation operator. MIT is sharing. As a normal user, you cannot go and download, and it will not be available as open access. But being an institution federation member, you can avail those resources. So if you want to know how many resources publishers are offering free access in this COVID-19 situation, please go to this ess.influnet.ac.in, covidresources.php. You will come to know who are all offering. free resource access. So single sign-on. The problem of our Indian higher education system is, if I am part of my institute, I will have 5 username and password at least. I will have separate username password for my email access. One is for my internal database access. One is for my payroll system and XYZ. In case we have 10 applications, 10 applications will have different username and password. If you set up this Cibola Infed member, you can integrate all the resources access in a single sign-on system. For example, if you have only Gmail account, you can access YouTube, Google Drive, Picasa, all the Google product can be accessed with a single username and password. The same way, we try to emphasize and create a system as one student, one researcher, one education institution member have one single access. Recently, I have received some comment from Australian Federation. Australia, before this COVID-19, some of the airlines would like to give educational discount. So how they will identify I am from educational institutions? They have joined with the Australian Access Federation. The moment they have airline want to give discount something 10 or 20% if you are part of educational institutions. So how they will verify? They have joined the federation of that particular country. Once you are trying to book the ticket, you have to say I am a student. The moment you select the student, where are you coming from? Where are you from? I am from this particular institute. So the moment he selected institute, again the username password will appear. You have to enter username password. Your system will release your student or scientist or faculty or staff group. The moment your system authenticate you, the publisher, that airlines obviously will allow, yes, this person is from this particular education institutions. They are really students or education member. They will give them access. So in future, it may be possible in India also. We are also trying to in touch with them. But this COVID-19 situation, we cannot able to travel. We cannot step out from my home. So hope it will come soon. So as I said, being as if they are your institute wants to implement single sign-on, they can approach us, and it will reduce the job of the IT help desk and password issues. Sir, we have already in place, like we have LDAP or Active Directory in our institution. Yes, no problem. This software is just a middleware. It will help you to integrate with your existing authentication system. If you don't have it no problem. We will help you to integrate with your existing authentication system, or we will create a new authentication system for you. Who are all INFED members? This is our proud, and this is our proud moment. Like IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, IIT Guwahati, IIC Bangalore, IIT Palakkad, NIT Trichy, those institutions are using our INFED services, and almost 140 institutions now and more than 39 publishers. People will ask, sir, whether this XYZ publisher is giving access. Sir, it is not my responsibility, sir. It is a librarian responsibility, because it is a publisher responsibility to provide on campus through IP, off campus through some other mode, any mode. You have to force them, you have to instigate them. We are paying money. If you are not giving access through Shibboleth or other mode, we are not going to release this. Maybe the difference, maybe you know well better about your agreements, signing agreement with the publishers. You please note it down, and we are ready to help entire thing for publisher as well as institution. Mostly all the international publisher is offering. You can ask, I will show you who all publisher is offering. See, this ACM Digital Library, American Chemical Society, Annual Reviews, Cambridge, Emerald, Elsevier, Scopus, Science Direct, SciVal, even this Euromonitor, IEEE, JSTOR, SAGE, Springer Link, Taylor and Francis, Web of Science, Wiley, all the people are offering Shibboleth based access. In case your institute has any of these in publisher subscription, please do get in touch with me. I will help you to get off-campus access. And these are all the institutions are getting access. They even JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, Central University of Haryana, Punjab, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, and Gandhigram Rural Institute, BITS Pilani, Cochin University of Science and Technology, NIT Rourkela, University of Calicut, it's so on. So again, being a librarian, statistics is very, very important. When you want to convince your management, you should have a statistics in your hand. Yes. we develop the system. The real-time statistics, the moment I'm accessing by sitting at my home, I'm accessing JSTOR, publishers, librarians should come to know, yes, because in campus, there is no problem for you in terms of signing the agreement, because it is fully, whoever coming to the campus, they can get access. In terms of outside, you should be very cautious, and you need to be answerable to the publishers. So we are giving real-time statistics and user statistics, how many user is landing into how many publisher side, and publisher statistics and graphical representation also we are offering. And this one, this is our admin portal. Again, it is also free. We are offering free of cost. This many publishers, Thomson Reuters, accessed by 20 users from my institution, and access ACS, American Chemical Society, Springer Nature, IEEE 6 times. And these are all the users, Vaishali, Raja, Kannan, Dinesh, Shiva, like this. See, earlier we have developed, we want to know the location. For example, now you are traveling to Bangalore. You are originally from Gujarat. You are traveling to Bangalore. By sitting in Bangalore airport, you are trying to access. Before IP version 4, I could track, yes, this particular access to this IP is given to this particular person by sitting in Bangalore. By sitting in Gujarat, he accessed. In case the same way he is traveling to some other abroad, also we can track them. But now implementing after IP version 6, it is a bit difficult, but still we are working on to track their location also, where they are accessing from. I have 11 minutes time. Yeah, the same way, the user statistics. Raja 23 times, he has 23.43, 43%, Kannan 42%. Likewise, you can come to know the percentage of users. Here, like Thomson Reuters, 26% of our people are using Thomson Reuters database and annual reviews. Likewise, you can get all the details. Even date-wise, you can filter out, like custom range. I want to know last 3 months, how many of them are getting access or using my product of campus access. You'll come to know. So there is some disturbances from our team, panelists. Yes. So being a librarian, as I said, you need to have always statistics in your hand so that you can convince your management. You can download, export as a XLS file, comma separated values, or some annotate format or JSON format. You can export, and you can do further researches if you want to really do about your user access. Earlier, as I said, we have tracked that particular access from which city also they are trying to access our database. See here, this particular person is accessing on 31/1/2019 this particular IP address, username this one, and which publisher he is landing into, Cambridge Journals Online, which city, Bangalore. So it will really, in case some of your user is misusing your information, they are sharing their username and password, you can do some query. Same user, different IP address, different cities. Otherwise, the kilometer range, 300 or 500 kilometer range, who are all different times they are using. You can come to know, filter out their IP address, and you can contact them. When you are showing the statistics, obviously your user will have some fear. So obviously they will not share their username password. I'll tell you, because of this statistics they have recognized, and till we are doing some more further research, that is the reason they selected me as a distinguished engineer. First question from them, from the international member, like our committee member from 72 country, is it really people are sharing the username and password? I said, yes, it is very common in India. No, how come if they share username and password, they can steal money from their bank? Because their single system will be integrated with their all the resources, even bank and employability or travel, all the places. But in India, that's why we have at least 50 username and password. Each and every person has 50 username and password. That is the reason we are not much bothered about our username password. This system will bring the single sign-on system for our entire education community. So they said we should not monitor researchers. Research itself is an ethics. So obviously our users will not share their username and password. Even they share, we have a mechanism to track it down. Yes. So interfederation. So INFED is part of an interfederation. Like India, INFED is an in charge. So same way for US, INCOMMON is in charge. UK Federation is in charge. Switch Federation for Switzerland, Australian Access Federation from Australia. So each and every country, they have their own federation. So all our federation, for example, one of our researcher want to do some collaborative research with Harvard or MIT, in case our faculty want to do research. At the time of subscribing, they will get a fund. In the fund, they will funding agency or publisher will give them only one campus access. So if they set up this mechanism, the access will be given for both the campuses without violating publisher access policy. And INFED is part of International Access Federation, Interfederation. 72 countries have their own federation now. Almost 2,574 institutions are using this facility services all around the world. In India, 140 now. And more than 1,764 service providers are offering, like service providers, nothing but publishers. And publishers offer their services to users in different federations through they can increase their target market, and users also get seamless benefit from wide range of access services. So these are all the country is using these federated access services, and you don't believe, almost 15 years before itself, the well-developed countries set up their federation and they are getting access outside of the campus without spending any additional cost. As I said, these are all the federation and their number of institutions are using this facility. For example, UK, they might have maximum 745 institutions, all are using these services. In India, due to our ignorance, maybe unawareness, we were not aware, this is a right platform for me to push my federation, not my federation, our federation. Being a largest institution in India, like in the world, more than 40,000 higher education institutions in India, but don't believe, only 140 institutions are using. So what exactly is the problem? InfluMNet always keen to implement any new technology related to library and librarians and library services. That is the reason we set up this federation. And the main benefit of this federation and Shibboleth access management system is to move towards a single password system for each institutions. And most of the academic librarians are maintaining their own username and password. It is very, sometimes it may be inefficient because they will give the username password Raja123 or Kumar123 like that. After setting up this federation, that your password protection mechanism will increase, and almost we are giving all type of services of type of assistance to the universities and institutions. At present, INFED is extending all help to the institution by setting up their IDP, installation, configuration of LDAP and other tools. So basically, conclusion, by joining this, you can give anytime, anywhere, any device access. It is not device restricted. Again, if you are part of Enlist, you are already availing these off-campus access services. Only if you are apart from Enlist resources, if your institution is subscribing some databases, you please approach me, I will help you out. And member institution will get off-campus access of their subscribed resources if the respective service provider is part of INFED. So it is your responsibility to bring them to be on board into INFED Federation. And institute can provide protected content. If you have content, those content also you can share it through our federation. The home institution can control when the identity is disclosed. Sir, we have some user limits, sir. We have 20,000 institutions. No problem. Anna University is offering through this. IIT Delhi is offering. They have larger amount of students in their database. So there is no user limit. It's unlimited. And web-based distributed authentication system. For example, some of you may aware EduRoam. If you have already EduRoam, no problem. The same system we can set up. EduRoam is nothing. I am traveling to United States or Australia. I'm going to Melbourne University because if I go to outside of the country, I have to put some internet pack, right? In case you are institute, you are being a part of education institutions, your institute set up this EduRoam. you are part of EduRoam. The same, your institute people are traveling to Melbourne. Melbourne University is part of EduRoam. The same username password which you are using in your campus to get internet access, same username password you can use into Melbourne University. So that is called EduRoam. If you want more details, you can approach EduRoam website. You will come to know. If you want to use of this facility, please join with EduRoam also. And many of the institutions is spending huge amount of money for getting these off-campus access services from various providers, private companies, and by joining this, obviously you get free of access. Sir, what is the eligibility? Can I join with your federation? Yes, you can join with us, and technically we are not charging anything. And obviously, who are part of ESOS and the member, they can submit anytime their membership form. They can join. Now, private institution also they can join at present. The federation may allow all the private institutions and private research organizations also can be a part of this federation. And our publisher, we are open to everyone. You can join. To be frank, outside of the country, if the institution want to be a part of their country federation, they have to pay at least 1 lakh rupees. It's a free. We are offering to all the institution. And publisher also we are not charging at present. Sir, how to join with INFED? Yes, I will share my screen. Please go. There is a membership form. Step number 1, you need to sign the membership form with your registrar or head of the institution or principal. You need to send it to us. Then you need to give one server. Server means, oh sir, we don't have any server. No problem. If you have any old system or old computer in your library, that is fair enough to serve this purpose, because your system will say the publishers, yes, this person is belong to our institute. The moment acceptance given by the institute, your institute server, it will go to them. So your old system also can serve our purpose. Minimum 4 GB or 6 GB RAM, 20 GB hard disk is sufficient. Again, you don't want to go for any proprietary operating system, Windows or any other system. It's all open source, free. Linux you need to install. We will help you out. So this is the membership form. As I said, you need to enter your name of the institution and complete address, email address, and administrative contact. You need to send this membership form. You need to send it to us. What exactly you need? As I said, minimum of 4 GB RAM. You need to install any operating system and 20 GB hard disk. And more details, sir, I have some technical stuff with me. I don't want your assistance. No problem. We have given entire thing in our website, parichay.infonet.ac.in/idp.php. You can go. It's all you need to just to copy paste. You will get. You can get all the installation. How much do we charge? Mostly other country federation is funded by their institution, their government at initial stage. But in India, we are getting cross-funded from ESOS Sindhu Consortium. A small amount of annual fees may be charged, not now. Being a government organization, we don't want to make any profit out of this federation. Maybe now it is something 64-70 institute is there. I'm maintaining, one more person is maintaining. In case if it is increased to 500, I cannot alone maintain. Otherwise, you need to be on the queue. Maybe I need to hire some project officers and assistants. Again, for that purpose only you need to pay, and not now. It is fully free. Last 4 years we are giving free of cost. And globally, federation operators provide an add-on services. How then we can sustain our services? Yes. Sir, we don't have server. Can you able to provide server? Yes, we can give server services. Through that we can make some money. So Indian higher education system encompasses more than 40,000 institutions. INFED may play a major role to increasing the research output of our country by providing seamless access of your subscribed content anywhere, anytime. By joining INFED, institution may get most of the e-resources beyond their campus. If you want to get 100% e-resources, really it is not there in my hand. As a librarian, you need to help me to bring more publishers on board, mostly in Indian publishers. For international publishers, always they are all part of our federation because they have their system in place. In India, it is not available. You need to force or insist them to set up and give remote campus access. These are all my reference. Thanks a lot. I am 2 minutes delay. Thanks a lot. Any questions? I'm open for question now.
Thank you, Raja. Please stop sharing your screen.
Yes, sir. I'm doing, sir. I'm doing.
Thank you very much, Raja. And your topic on INFED was most interesting. There were several questions and highly appreciated by many of the participants. And they have a lot of questions and suggestions, but we have taken only questions. The suggestions will be routed to you separately by mail. I request the moderator, Dr. Biradar, to take up the questions. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Raja, you have given excellent presentation on federated access management in India, and a lot of appreciation has been issued by the sent by the participants, and at the same time they have posed some questions and they seek some clarification on some of the issue. Number one is, what is the role of Shodha Sindhu in medical science institution, which is asked by Dr. Prasanna Kumar.
Sir, again, I'm from Federation team. This role of medical science means, as far as my knowledge, this Sodh Ganga is the largest thesis repository. And you can ask this question to Sodh Ganga team, sir. Sodh Ganga at Infinite is the right place.
Okay. And another question is asked by Dr. Satish Munale, whose question is, as a unit under DAE, can we avail INFED services for their users?
Exactly, sir. It's open to everyone, sir. Anybody can join in our federation.
Okay.
Even non-government organizations?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Because this is most of the questions are answered by this particular answer.
Yeah.
It's open to everyone.
Another question asked by Vidya Subramanian.
Yes, sir.
His question is, can 2F 12B colleges who are subscribing Enlist can get INFED service?
That's what I said. Already Enlist is off-campus access. Apart from Enlist, they have any resources access, they can approach us. We will help them. Yes, it's free. We are giving services.
And another participants who need elaborate information on geofencing in terms of access to e-resources. Is it gift or curse to the libraries, which is raised by Ravi Kumar from Hyderabad?
Sir, again, sir, this is off-campus access services, sir. Your institute have access. Those resources can be accessed outside. If you don't have access of the particular resources, obviously you will not able to do it. Geofencing, that's all.
Okay.
Sir, people may misunderstood. Sir, if I subscribe this INFED, I will get the services from resource access from eSource. No, it's not at all.
Okay. And one more question from Ramesh Yaranagula, who asked, does INFED support to generate the usage statistics for category wise, like by faculty, research scholar, designation wise, etc.?
Sir, we have done for general user statistics, but we can have a group wise user statistics also. If you really interested, and obviously we have raw data with us, whenever people are accessing, we can give them raw data, because this raw data itself will be stored in their server, sir. We are not taking any of the usage statistics in our hand.
Okay, fine. And last question, which is asked by Dhanush Raj. His question is, can you please give the explanation about the one nation and one password for the SimplyNet Access Management Federation?
Sir, for example, all the Western countries, they have one username password. Like Aadhaar, the same username password. The moment they are entering into any education institutions, that Aadhaar system, like their unique ID or country ID, identification number, will be integrated with their part of education institutions. So whenever you use, the username password will be supplied from the central agency, which is maintained by the government, or like NIC will maintain. In India, we don't have such kind of technology as on today now. As on today, we don't have such kind of technology, but as an institutions, they can set up this INFED. So all the institutional resources access will be in a single username password. That is, I am ensuring now. For a whole country, the government, Ministry of IT has to take an initiative. So it is possible, sir. But at present, it is not possible. That's what. In the first question will be from the international people. Raja, how the username password can be shared by the researcher with other friends? Because they will not share the username password. It is very unethical work system by the researcher. So here, because if they are sharing the username password of their institutions, they are not going to lose anything. That is why simply said they are sharing username and password. Am I right? No, sir.
You're
Yes.
right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, still there are several questions which are posted by the participant, but time is not permitting me to put before you.
Thank
So
you, sir.
before, sir, Panur sir, can I ask a few more questions or wind up?
No, let us conclude, sir. I have a
Sir,
request
Konur,
to all
sir.
the participants. If they have any more questions which are not answered, please send those questions to lisacademy.org@gmail.com, our email account, so that we will pass it on to the speaker, and the speaker will answer to all of you personally by mail. Otherwise, LIS Academy itself will answer all the questions through the speaker. So friends, don't get disappointed. All your questions will be answered. Only question is we can't pick up the question and questions from the Q&A. So I request you again send your questions to LIS Academy. So LIS Academy in turn will send it to the speaker, and Raja will be very happy to send answers to all of them.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Konur, sir, can I make a comment, sir? Vishal here.
Brother, sir?
Sir,
Konur,
Hello.
sir, can I say something?
Yeah, Vishal?
Yeah, sir. So,
Vishal would like to say something.
thank you, Raja sir. I think I have been in touch with you the most in these, not directly, but in CC, right?
Yes.
I think InFed, as you said, this was really very interesting for me as a publisher also to understand the process and who can be a part of it. Sir, I have a very specific question which I'm still confused with. InFed, I feel, is one of the best ways of getting off-campus access. People usually ask email ID, password access, or which thankfully you said that can be misused, and it is misused. You know, we all know that, right? So, sir, my question is, what is the advantage of InFed over other softwares like EasyProxy and Nimbus, which are also providing integrated federated search search facilities, combining the database of all the e-resources available together on one platform so that they can search across all these platforms. So what is the advantage that InFed has?
Again, the first thing is money involved. It's a free.
Okay.
The second one, if they want to do some collaborative resource sharing among their institutions, research institutions. That's what I said. IIT Delhi, they have some thousands of very informative information data, important data, research data with them.
Right.
They wanted to share their resources only educational institutions. How they will identify these are all from educational institutions? Because the moment they approach us, we do verify whether they are from educational institutions, research institutions. We have categorized. Tomorrow, some private company is part of that institutions. We will not add the private company metadata in your access list. For example, IIT Delhi access list.
Right.
It is a federation. Federation is a family. Federation is a family. One branch is off-campus access. But apart from this off-campus access, we have hundreds of usages. Facility will be available in InFed. That's what resource sharing among the institutions.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thanks a lot.
hello.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Panur, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I close it?
Can you take one more question and close it?
Okay, fine. Another question is, are private autonomous engineering colleges eligible to take InfluipNet membership, which is asked by Sridevi TR?
Yes, sir. It is possible, sir.
Okay. Konur, sir?
So thank you very much, Dr. Biradar, sir. You gave a very elaborate...
No. Before that, I will thank.
Yes, sir.
Sir, thank you very much for your opportunity given for moderating for the webinar lecture series, in which two talks have been given by scholarly scholarly persons. That is, one is Shiv Shankar and another one is Raja. And both the lectures have been received appreciation from large number of the participants. So I thank Professor Kannur sir for giving me this opportunity to moderate this thing. And I also thank to the NCSI Net Foundations office bearers for giving me an opportunity. And also thanks to all participants for their patient hearing and active participation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I personally thank Professor Biradar for sparing so much of time in spite of his busy schedule of academic activities in his campus. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Siva and Raja also for a very, very young future for our country. And both of them will definitely fare well in their career in future days to come. And I love INCLIPNET should go to the doorsteps of all institutions, which is the dream of our country. And in the leadership of present director, definitely we will be able to take all the INCLIPNET services to the doorsteps of all institutions. And most of the private institutions are looking forward for similar services because they lack this kind of a coordination. You, in a government environment, yes, you have got a network. But in a private environment, they are not well networked. So they are looking forward for a similar kind of a service for them also. I look forward for that, and I want to carry the same message to your director, sir, also. With this, I thank all the resource persons and